Greetings and welcome back everyone. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm Crypto Snake, back again to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. So if you were trading this weekend, you know that there really was not any price movement. It was entirely side trending the entire weekend, which was exhaustingly boring. We did manage to pull some profits over the weekend, but for the most part it was pretty boring. I'm going to start out today's video on the daily chart and lay out some interesting trends I noticed. One thing I want to point out today requires us to go a little bit back in Bitcoin's history. As we know, we have been striking the top of this pennant continually. One other pattern I've noticed from the dump back in July is that we've been bouncing down from lower RSI levels, and if this is any indication on this third pump, we're very likely to break down from the resistance at 55. This pennant that's forming can actually be seen on the RSI level as well, and the fact that it correlates with a resistance level gives me more reason to believe that we will strike down from this level. So as for price targets, where do I think that will strike down from? Again, the upper side of this pennant is where I think we're going to strike. It's going to be anywhere between 6750 up to possibly 6850 or so, possibly up to 7,000 if we wick up there. But with the amount of overall side trending that we've been doing, I think the size of this pump is actually reducing in size over time. Just to demonstrate that, if we continue to side trend, you know, this pennant is restricting further and further, so a strike here at 66.75 could break us straight back down to the pennant for a squeeze into the bull run. However, if we break up tomorrow, we could break up and test up to 6,800 or so before again breaking back down. Let's go ahead and flip my technical indicators back on here. Again, we are still forming daily SARs in the bullish pattern. SAR is a measurement of the overall trend of the market. This correlates to every single time frame and acts as support and resistance moving up or down. Another thing I want to address today is that we have had a bullish TK crossover on the daily. However, there's not a lot of momentum with it. It actually crossed downwards into this TK crossover, which is very unusual. Normally what you want to see for a nice pump is a breaking up with the Kijinsen through a TK crossover, but the Tenkan-sen has actually come down at striking through the Kijinsen. And if we look back in the chart, the Chiku span has entered within price. This indicates that we are in ranging territory, which explains why we've had so much side trending and why this day really is not a good day to trade on. My VIPs know the drudgery of waiting more than anyone else right now, as we've been stuck on the lower side of this rising wedge. Switching over to Ethereum, you can see what I mean. Basically just been side trending through this level, through this price range of relatively 2% in either direction. But moving back to the Bitcoin chart, again, we are getting a lot of side trading here, and as thus, technical indicators are a little bit confused. On the 4-hour chart on Binance, we have bullish indicators implying that we are likely to break into a bullish trend. But if we flip over to Coinbase, you can see that we have the SAR on the top, indicating that we are moving into a bearish trend. Moving back to Binance on the 4-hour, the Chiku span has also entered into the price on the 4-hour, which is another reason that we are stuck in this side trending both on Ethereum and Bitcoin. And on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are still respecting this ascending wedge. We've just been traveling through this, breaking up, hitting the top, breaking back down, over and over through the cycle. The RSI has been building some support on the 4-hour chart. The last time we were at 49, which is where we're at currently, the price was within the 65.50 area, and now we are actually up in the 65.91. So we are building a little bit of support, indicating that we are moving bullish. And assuming we continue to respect this ascending wedge on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are very likely to test down on this bottom wedge before breaking back up, possibly testing the 6650 or the 6700 level. Moving back to the daily chart with the overall market cycle, a break up to 6700 would actually peak us out just below this cloud. And assuming we continue rising with that wedge, we could actually move all the way up to 6750, 6800 or so, before actually breaking down with some force. Now back to the 4-hour chart again. An ascending wedge pattern is normally a trend reversal, so now while you may think this is bullish and it will actually increase the price slowly, it normally indicates a bearish reversal, which means that we are going to break down with a lot of force. Now obviously in the crypto space I don't put a lot of merit behind these patterns, but if it is to be trusted, we are very likely to break down. Now if we do break down, where do I see us going? For the moment, on the daily chart, we are still posting SARs, which are providing support at 63.71. I don't see us breaking through there unless there is a bearish SAR dot posted above, indicating there's no more support there, and we will very likely come down to test the 62.50 around that area before breaking back up. Having posted now a lower high indicates that we could be due for a trend reversal. So bearish scenario has us coming down to 62.50, and the bullish scenario has us coming to 67.50. Now if you are short or longing this position, This range is not very large, so if you use low leverage, you're very unlikely to get liquidated. And again, that's not financial advice, so please do your own due diligence with that. Before I get on with the rest of my technical analysis, if you'd like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/cryptosnakepit. Links directly to the chat and a link on how to install Telegram, which is a free chat program I use to communicate with my VIPs, in the description below. And unfortunately guys, it is officially October. I have scrubbed my monthly gains chart and it's looking pretty lonely. You can see a preview of the gains we made last month, and I'm getting pumped for this looming bull run. I've given out a list of potentially discount altcoins I plan to ride for the bull run to my VIPs, as well as some hot altcoin swing positions every week. If you want information on how to get into the VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. Onto the market health for today. As expected, there has been relatively no movement. We're at 221 billion. I believe we were at 223 billion yesterday, so a very minor dump out of the market. Bitcoin dominance hasn't really moved very much. It's been trending around the 51 to 52%. Relatively stale over the weekends to be expected from the crypto space. Again, 24-hour, we are bleeding a little bit because Bitcoin did have a little bit of a dump, but some positions are actually up. Moving on to the news, and less so news, more technical analysis really. Two CoinDesk articles, one of them stating that we have in fact started to defend the 6K price area, which we already knew, and the other one is that signs emerged that falling Bitcoin price just might have a floor. Essentially what they lay out in this article is that the 21-month estimated moving average has actually provided a lot of support for this area. They also lay out the falling trend line in the pennant that I've laid out. This 21-month EMA support actually supports my theory that we are very likely to hold that support and push out bullish. I know a lot of other technical analysis, quote-unquote, experts in the community have been calling for a mega dump down to 3600 range. I really don't think that's in the cards. In fact, I think the absolute lowest we'll wick to is, again, what I set out in several videos back, the 5800 area. I really don't see us breaking through the 21-month EMA. I also don't see us breaking through this pennant in a bearish move. And one more thing I will state on that. If the entire market believes that it's going to drop, the market tends to do the complete opposite. It's the basic contrarian theory, and how CNBC released an article that they believe that this pump was very likely to hit the 7,000 plus range. Again, we didn't hit that, but the entire community, the entire BitMEX troll box, everyone was saying, oh, 7,000, 7,000, 7,000. And look what happened. We broke right back down. Massive dump down to the 64.55 area. So normally when everyone is shouting 7,000, go the opposite direction. When everyone's shouting 3,600, go the opposite direction. If everyone was right in the market all the time, then they would all be rich. That's enough about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum today. Now, as I laid out in the previous video, I did say that I am bullish long-term on Ethereum. I am still bullish long-term on Ethereum. We have posted the fourth now daily SAR dot in a bearish direction, and the daily Kijinsen has begun to drop down to the 223 area. So I'm expecting a very small pullback to that 223. Do I think this spells the end of the Ethereum pump? Not necessarily. As I laid out on the Bitcoin chart as well, the Chiku span has moved within the price. We may see this actually downtrend from this position, ranging in this territory as the Kijinsen continues to drop before trending back up and breaking into this daily cloud. This normally happens when we are moving into a ranging territory like this in an attempt to build up some support for a short squeeze. Moving down to the 4-hour chart, where we can have a better look at the ascending triangle. The 4-hour Kijinsen has begun descending, and we are now respecting that. I'm expecting the price to pull back to the daily Kijinsen, and if we see a bearish TK crossover on the 4-hour, I will give that alert out to my VIPs so they can take advantage of a short position. For the moment, however, I am waiting for confirmation on that. On the 1-hour chart, you can see that we are actually experiencing a bullish TK crossover, which is why these indicators are so very confusing right now, and we are in a very low volume ranging territory with the Chiku span within the price. In fact, it's also moving now below the price, indicating that we may experience a slight drop here, which is now reinforcing my theory of a potential dump from this level. Moving on to Bitcoin shorts, another thing that I want to address that is also looming is a Bitcoin short squeeze. On the RSI, we are nearing this 70 level. We still have some room to grow before we actually see a pullback. Historically, we pull back as soon as we break through that 70 area on the RSI range. And with those pullbacks, that correlates on Bitcoin's chart to massive pumps in the price. Now, if we do see a Bitcoin short squeeze, I could see this price breaking up to that upper pennant level just from that short squeeze alone. So while indicators are mixed and potentially pushing downward, that looming short squeeze on both Bitcoin and possibly on Ethereum could produce a very nice price spike. So just to recap, there is a lot of indecision in the market right now. I think us hitting up in the 68, 67.50 area is almost guaranteed to test the top of this pennant, hitting at the 55 RSI level before breaking back down to the lower side of this pennant. As this pennant begins to squeeze, I'm expecting this to break out into some massive volatility, either up or down. Personally, I'm leading into an upwards pump, possibly breaking out of this pennant up to 8,000, breaking up into the 8,000 range, and then coming back down onto the trend line and continuing bullish for the rest of the year before eventually returning to that 20k mark, possibly higher. So that's it for today's technical analysis. If you do make any trades today, I wish you luck. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/cryptosnakebit, where I give up-to-the-minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is Crypto Snake, signing off.